Hey everybody, welcome back to Hooked on Onyx. This is Dakota Graff here at Onyx Coffee Lab headquarters with my friend
Benjamin Paz.
Benjamin Paz is from Honduras. We source all of our Honduran coffees from you. We've been working together for 3 years and we're visiting for a very special thing, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but you won COE. But before that, we'll talk about what we do together on a sourcing level and kind of how all that came to be, and basically tell me what we do together.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing thing to be here, spending some time together and drinking some delicious coffee.
Yeah, a lot of delicious coffees.
Yeah. So basically I'm a coffee farmer, but also I work for a coffee exporting company, and been working together with Dakota and Onyx for 4 years now.
Almost 4 years, yeah.
And basically what I've been doing is facilitating relationships between Onyx and some roasters and some producers, sorry, from the place where I live.
Yeah.
And I'm also, as I said, a producer myself, and I've been supplying Onyx with some of the coffees from my farm. And this year, I happened to win a Cup of Excellence, and which is a big deal. And Dakota beat on the coffee, and they got the first place, and it was just a very special thing. It's like, for my coffee career, it's like top. And then basically I do that, but also my other job is to facilitate coffees, and that's mostly what we do together.
That's a great word. It's like facilitate is a great word for what you do, because it is a lot of facilitation. Like when we first visited, you said, yeah, I've got these producers in mind. They're kind of in this place right now, not in a place physically, but sort of in a place as far as specialty coffee goes. And I think that they're going to continue to evolve and grow. And I think it'd be really good for me to introduce Onyx to them. And so I came along, and we started partnering with a few producers, maybe just a handful at first. And then, we're buying from like 11 producers, including yourself, in Santa Barbara. We did shoot some brew guides this morning, and I did talk a little bit about why Santa Barbara, for me, is just like such an incredible growing region. But it's basically, it's like kind of cheesy, but I always say it's the Kenya of Central America, just because of the dynamic acidity and like just all the beautiful citrus and like vibrant coffees that come out of there. I think it's a really special area. It's like one of my favorite regions, just in general, for so many reasons. But yeah, while you were talking about me bidding, it actually kind of reminded me of the story of me bidding on the coffee, because it was kind of funny. Like from my perspective, I cupped that coffee when we visited you in the spring, and you said, this is my COE coffee, and I cupped it, and I was like, that coffee's really good. And then you won. And I was like, one, not surprised at all. Two, I did not tell you, but I was like, I'm buying that coffee. Like, kind of like full in, I'm gonna buy the coffee for a number of reasons. One is just like, it's just a great coffee, and I wanted it. And it was an auction, so I was like, I'm gonna go all in on this. But what I didn't do was tell you that I was gonna buy your coffee. Only because, one, it was really exciting, and I just kind of wanted it to be like a fun surprise, and I wasn't sure if I was actually gonna have the coffee, because it's an auction and things can get really wild. I was very committed to buying the coffee, but I didn't tell you beforehand, and then as the day of the auction, I'm bidding and I'm bidding and I'm bidding, and this price keeps climbing, and it's like super fun, and I'm like, you're freaking out, I'm sure. Like we're texting, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I'm just checking in with you, but not telling you that I'm just like, I'm bidding on this coffee. And then the way that the auction works is just paddle numbers. So it just says like 4158 keeps bidding or whatever. And at the end of the auction, they flip it, and it shows who won the coffee. And so Onyx Coffee Lab pops up, and I'm like, I'm celebrating. I'm right here at our cupping lab buying this coffee. And so I'm celebrating, and then you FaceTime me. So like from your perspective, what was that?
Yeah, I mean,
what was that like?
I remember when we were at the coffee lab in Honduras, and I put the two coffees. Right, I put the one that I was offering you, and I put the other one because I wanted to get your feedback from the COE law, and yeah, I honestly never thought that you were going to buy it, and then like you requested the samples from Cup of Excellence, and so you got them. But I was honestly, like never thought you were, like going to go for it, and that was a very special surprise because like we're outside of COE, we've been working together, we've been partnering on this. You're my friend, and it was such a special thing. And for me, like my first time, like getting up there in the first place in this like the most important competition for a coffee producer, it's been such an experience, and I'm super happy and thankful that like you made all that happen and we're here now.
Yeah, I mean, for me it was like a no-brainer. I was just like, I'm buying that coffee for sure. And it was fun to like have a surprise. You FaceTimed me immediately, and we were like,
I saw the name on the screen, and I was like, oh my god, this is I have to call him.
Yeah, and I wanted that coffee for a number of reasons, but really one of the driving forces behind me really wanting that coffee is to feature it on our menu and to show like this is the level of Honduran specialty coffee. It's operating at an extremely high level, and that was my first #1 COE lot as well. So it was like, we've never purchased any of the #1. Most of the time my favorites ended up being like kind of 4 and 5 because I blind cup everything. And so when I cup and I'm like, okay, #4 is my favorite. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna bid on #4, which honestly is kind of nice because it's like, I can get this coffee for sure. It's within my budget and everything. But I was just like dead set on getting #1. So it was really fun.
No, thank you.
Yeah, which we just finished roasting some of it for our Echelon subscription, which is really exciting. That'll be our first drop of it, and then it will be a pre-order on our website. So super excited to see how that goes. We're gonna have a bunch of content around it. We filmed a brew guide with it this morning, and the coffee's tasting really awesome. So it's great. That's kind of what you're doing here in Arkansas too. Like, this is your first visit to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And obviously I said it was sort of a celebration of COE, but it was also just like, you're traveling currently, you're about to head to Japan, and it made sense for you to stop over in Arkansas for some reason. So it's great.
I wanted to go, this is an idea that I've had for a couple of years now since, I started working, and I mean, considering the actual circumstances that, you have my lots here, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm super happy.
Yeah, we really appreciate you visiting. And so, like, talking about kind of how we've worked together, what we've done together, and like, what are you about to do now? Like, you have 4 farms, right? 4 farms, personally.
Yeah.
What's your next project that you're doing? Like, 4 projects.
We are investing in an electricity project for the farm. That's like straight resources that I got from COE. I was just investing that there, and then I have more ideas of growing and planting a little bit more Gesha, a couple other different varieties, and try to just maintain what I have now. Growth has been a little bit difficult because of all the different problems that I had, in the coffee growing areas because of, like costs increasing, labor, sort of kind of like figuring it out, like post-pandemic what the formula is going to be.
Sure.
But yeah, like increase quality, plant a couple new varieties here and there, invest more in my actual farms, just like improve roads, improve wet mill drying capacity, processing capacity, and then like focus also in my job with San Vicente and try to like help develop these relationships that you already have with these producers and take them to a different level.
Sure.
And maybe encourage them to like be part of something like I'm doing with Cup of Excellence and give them some of these varieties that I've grown to like make them diversify and get some cool coffees.
Yeah, no doubt. That's super exciting. I'm really excited to taste the future of that project. It's going to be really cool. So personally, you also have a coffee shop in Honduras.
Yeah.
And you also just open kind of like a pizza place as well?
Yeah, I always, like after I started to travel back in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
I got a lot of inspiration from like people like you and businesses like Onyx, and I just wanted to have like
Sure.
kind of like something similar, like share some of these amazing coffee that we were exporting and like keep them in Honduras and present them to the locals. So I opened the cafe. It's actually turning 10 this month, 10 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my idea was to just introduce a specialty coffee to the local consumers in my town.
Yeah.
And I have a roasting operation there. It's tiny, just for the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I do a couple of wholesale customers here and there. And then I love food, so I wanted to have a restaurant. Always, kind of that dream. And I love pizza also. I mean, who doesn't
Me too,
love pizza?
yeah.
So I'm opening a like Neapolitan pizza style restaurant, and yeah, it's hopefully gonna be open by the end of this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like just side projects that I have that are really like cool and interesting. And at the very end, like I was just want to like to serve people and have people enjoy like something really good. Not only coffee but also food. And yeah, it's just like a very exciting time for me.
Yeah, I am personally super excited to eat the pizza.
Yeah.
That pizza oven is awesome. I want to get in there with the peel and like make some pizzas after hours.
Yeah, my friend from my childhood built it.
That's awesome.
His dad also built the house where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, and I can't wait to start cooking in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm really excited. I'm counting down the days to my next visit, so it's going to be really exciting. But for now, thank you for visiting. This has been really awesome. This is just the beginning of your visit. This is day one. We've got a bunch of other stuff we got planned. But yeah, cheers for being in Arkansas and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to everybody watching. We'll see you next time.